Sabalenka's serve could be so much better if she were to just toss lower. Now, this video is courtesy of Baseline Highlights on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to their awesome channel. I've put their link in the description below. Let's watch her serve 2 times, and then we'll analyze it. When Sabalenka plays, it's very obvious when she's going to struggle with her serve, and all you have to do is just watch her toss. Because her toss is so high, it's very easy for it to vary. And you can tell, does the ball go too far right? Does it go too far to the left for her? Does it go behind her or in front of her? When the toss is this high, it makes it very easy for her to struggle with the timing and the placement, the timing of the hit and the placement of the toss in the air. One thing we can do to actually measure her toss is to use a toss timer. Now, a toss timer is done by putting the ball near the top of the head, and you just put a timer down, and you see how long it takes for them to contact the player, to contact the ball from that position. In my experience, a toss between 0.6 and 0.9 seconds from this position right here until contact is ideal. So we put the timer down, and we see here's 0.6. So she's already, at the lowest point of the spectrum of the range of acceptability for the toss. She's blowing by that. And now we get to 0.9, and still the ball is way out of reach. And finally, she contacts the ball at 1.16 seconds. Her toss is way too high. Now, you might be saying to yourself, yeah, but Ryan, a high toss gives you more time to hit the ball. But that actually is not true. The higher you toss, it gives you less time to hit the ball. And it's, being nitpicky, but let's understand what time to hit the ball means. It means as the ball is dropping and you're trying to hit it, right? So she has a very short amount of time to hit the ball because the ball is accelerating from that high toss. It's accelerating through the window of opportunity, 9.8 meters per second. And as the ball is dropping, it is accelerating due to gravity. And that gives her very little time to hit the sweet spot. Take Nick Kyrgios as the opposite example. When it comes to Nick's serve, and by the way, make sure you subscribe to Court Level Tennis, awesome account on YouTube. He's got the ball at the top of the head. We put a timer down. Remember, Sabalenka was 1.16. That was her toss timing. Now we go to Kyrgios, and he's contacting the ball at 0.69. What a difference. Remember, Sabalenka, she had her toss way up in the air, and it was dropping such a far distance. Look on his serve. The ball goes up, and then that ball barely falls. It's so much easier for him to time it and to hit the sweet spot because the ball is not dropping at such a rate. And yes, he's got a pinpoint stance just like Sabalenka. You don't need a high toss. And what I've noticed with recreational players is the higher they toss, the lower they contact. Yes, the higher they toss, the lower they contact. The reason a high toss will end up often having recreational players contact low is because the recreational player has to wait for it to come down. And what do? They end up waiting too long. And then they actually end up hitting the ball with a bent arm. And you see this all the time in rec tennis. The arm is bent at contact. Now, she's got it straight because she's number 1 in the world. And she can handle this high toss and get the ball in at a higher rate than we can as recreational players. But when it comes to a pro, if she were to lower her toss, it would force her racket and her swing to be more efficient, which, by the way, her swing is not very efficient. Her arm is straight. Then she has to drop her elbow and set the racket finally in the trophy position. Then she can get into the serve. Because when you toss really high, it gives you a lot of time to swing. So you have to kind of be inefficient with your swing to make up that time. But then it gives you very little time to hit the ball because the ball is accelerating as it drops. I'm surprised her coaches have not worked on lowering her toss. Sabalenka, if you see this video, please, if somebody watches this, send this video to her on Twitter. Lower the toss. It'll clean up your swing. You won't have to have the arm straight, then drop it, set it into position because you're actually wasting time waiting for it to come down. And then the toss won't have the same variance Because when she tosses, like I was watching her play Coco in the final of the 2023 US Open, if her toss was over here, if her toss was over here, right? Look at the variance between these 2 points compared to these 2 points, right? There's a smaller difference between these 2 points as these 2 points, though they're the same toss, right? So when you have a high toss, it creates variance. And what does it do? Your serve percentage plummets. So Sabalenka, lower your toss. If you're watching this video and you're not Sabalenka, learn a slightly lower toss like Kyrgios, not this super high toss like Sabalenka. That's just going to lead to a less consistent serve. Now, if you'd love to use the same strategies the pros use to win their matches, then you got to pick up the Singles Playbook by Fuzzy Yellow Balls. It's all broken down by the type of opponent you play against, and it's over 50 pages, strategy after strategy. And what's really cool is each page comes with a QR code, so you can watch a video of exactly how to use each strategy. Just use my link in the description and pinned in the first comment. And if you're looking for people in your local area to play matches against or practice with, or you want to find a coach who's close to you who can help you with your game, then use my link for PlayYourCourt. And it's playyourcourt.com/2-minute tennis. When you use my link to sign up, you get 50% off. So work on tossing slightly lower than you normally do, and there's no doubt you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2minutetennis.net. You got this.